Hey, everybody. Welcome to another fun broadcast scheduled for you here on the Comic Art Live channel. And it's an early one again. As we know, we've got a Heritage Auction preview stacked for you today at 7 o'clock. So thank you for those who are able to tune in early. And for those who have to turn in late, just remember to hit that thumbs up when you finally do watch this broadcast. So let me bring in Joe Manarino, and we'll get this thing started. How's it going, Joe?
Very well. How are you doing, Bill?
Fantastic. Honestly, it's weird doing shows while the sun is still in the sky, but I'm glad we're here.
The sun is still in the sky after 5 o'clock.
Exactly. Now you guys, your guys are going out of town. I think is that you got a trip planned?
Yeah, we're going. There's a new Paris convention, and we were invited from the start from the people that put it on. So I promised to be there, so we'll go.
All right. Well, it's because usually we would do this a preview, right before the auction starts, but we've got a few weeks before that happens. But you're going to be out of the country, so it was easier for us to do this now than to try to film it while you were enjoying yourself in Europe. So obviously we were talking ahead of the show. There's a lot of great art. And there's a really special comic book in this in the current auction that might make this one of the highest overall auctions that Heritage has ever held in the comics and comic art realm.
Yeah, this is going to be a monster sale. I mean, just the comic books alone, when you have an 8.5 Action 1, I mean, it's already with buyer's premium over $5 million. It's probably going to be the most expensive book we've ever sold. And then you have Iron Man, Tales of Suspense 39 and 9.8, and the Sensation Comics 1 and 9.6. I mean, it's just a monster sale on the comic book end. And Then you look at the array of material and original art, and this has the potential to be the biggest auction we've ever had.
Well, it's that's got to be exciting for you guys. I mean, given all the good results that you've had over the last, you can say 8 to 10 years with solid auctions, to have something that already appears to be on, one of the most successful ones. That's got to be pretty cool for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, considering post-COVID, that would be quite the accomplishment.
Mm-hmm. That's true. I mean, well, post-COVID, we still haven't seen. We've seen a little bit of maybe a cool down in the market in some ways, but not to the extent where it's really hurt overall sales. I think people might have been buying a little bit less in the last couple of years, but I think we're even seeing that trend already starting to change in the last 3 or 4 months. I think I'm seeing more people add artwork. CAF has never been busier. People are adding more art to their CAF galleries in the last month than say in the fall. So people are still acquiring great deals of art in the hobby. So things are not slowing down really.
I contend that the art market may have finally slowed down a bit, but slowed down. That doesn't mean declined dramatically. I mean, I think we've talked about it in other videos where the mid Marvels, Fantastic Four 15 and 6.0, yeah, those are down because everybody tried to jump into those during COVID. But the keys and the good art are still strong. Period.
Very true. So
we got a lot to cover. I'll make my apologies right from the beginning because there's going to be some people not happy. There's no way. I mean, I stopped at 45 or whatever it was, but I could have gone on for 100 items here, all highlights in any other auction, and there's no way we're going to get to it. So maybe we'll do a little overview of some of the other stuff later, but I'll try and touch on everything.
Okay. Yeah, well, let's just dive right in and get started.
Okay. Well, first of all, the auction April 4th through 7th. The 4th is Thursday, and by the way, we're going to be changing the format where it used to be like platinum comics and platinum art, and then we did now it's going to go like comics, art. So it'll be there'll be more continuity in it. And if we don't do it all this time, it's going to be next time for sure. That way, so be on the lookout for that.
So when you say comics art, are you saying that Thursday, Friday are comics and Saturday, Sunday are art, or is it somehow the way they're staggered throughout?
I don't have the new catalog, but the way we had discussed it was that like Thursday is going to be comics, platinum comics, then platinum, then regular floor comics. Yep. The next day, platinum art, then floor art. So we don't have that, where it was somebody had to tune in for platinum art, then it went to comics, then we had to have the people come back in the next day for art. You know what I mean? And there was that broken continuity.
Right. Yeah, and I don't have a copy of the catalog yet either. So it's usually I'd have it when we're doing these shows, but not yet because we're doing it so early. Okay, well, that's good to know. So again, it's April 4th through the 7th.
Yep.
Okay, so we're starting off with a Frank Miller, Klaus Janson, Daredevil 190 cover.
Yep. I mean, considering how hot Daredevil's been, Frank Miller has been, and all the rest, this is a key cover. This is the Elektra. It gets the resurrection of Elektra. She's on the cover. This is where the Hand reveals their plan to resurrect Elektra, and Daredevil, Widow, Stick, and Stone must prevent that from happening. Of note, this was created in two different layers, so you have the images drawn on two different on the base board and then on the overlay.
Right, the baseboard looks like it's duo shade, I believe, and then the overlay with Elektra is done on another board. I assume it's taped down or glued down.
I think it's on. It might be acetate if you.
Oh, it might be on a layer. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Well, that might make sense. You probably don't want to glue something down to duo shade, would you? That's probably not archival. So
well, they did it because that's the way that they locked in totally separate colors. So they needed to make two separate negatives, completely different, and that's the way they did it. You have to have two separate. You have to have it broken out.
Well, this is it's a beauty, and who doesn't remember buying this cover off the rack back in the day?
And we should say this is from the David Mandel collection. I think this is the first time David has given us permission to actually have his name in the catalog. So if you want to do a search, you search Mandel collection and make sure you on the search bar you have titles and descriptions, and everything from David's collection that's up in the auction will come up. And he has some great things. I mean, the next item is also David's, and I'm sure we'll be touching on a few others as well. There's some real highlights here.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, it is from the David Mandel collection. So yeah, that'll make it easier to go through. Well, that's a very nice piece. that'd be the cornerstone piece for many people's art collections. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's a good one. Other themes, I just like to. We usually discuss the themes of the auction. You got the David Mandel collection. You've got the Dennis Kitchen collection, which is a really big deal. People know Dennis and his publishing company and some of the great artists that he was associated with, from Harvey Kurtzman to Will Eisner to Bill Elder to Robert Crumb and to Mark Schultz, on and on. And we have his collection. Now, I did get advanced copies of the Dennis Kitchen collection, and people have been asking about this. And it's really great. It's got some great stuff. I mean, just packed with very interesting stuff as well. I mean, Dennis was also a big collector of Lil Abner and strips and all sorts of great stuff. And his relationship with these artists, he has examples of everything. So as I mentioned to you, the first 5 people that email to Nadia we will happily send them a complimentary copy of the Dennis Kitchen catalog. So it's NadiaM@ha.com.
It's right up there on the screen, everybody. And yeah, I mean, I looked through the Dennis Kitchen stuff, and I mean, he's legendary. And the idea that he's, you know, the pieces he's got are fantastic, and they just simply are. I'm looking forward to getting my copy of the catalog, but yeah, he really had an amazing run and worked with so many incredible, independent artists in his day. And I think that's illustrated in the pieces that are part of the Dennis Kitchen collection going in there. And you figure that stuff's been off the market probably since, since gosh, I mean, what, 40 years, or more in some cases for some of these pieces. So, that's going to generate a lot of interest. And yeah. Dennis has been on my list for a long time as somebody who I really admire and never got to meet. So he's somebody. Maybe we can arrange an interview with Dennis before, or after the auction. Even I'll
give you his information. And Dennis is a great guy. I mean, he never went. I never remember going to San Diego or New York when he was there, and he didn't come by. He always says hello. We did some projects together. He's a great guy. And I don't see why he wouldn't do it, but I don't want to speak for him.
Yeah, well, let's find out. But for those of you who want to get a copy of the catalog that maybe don't get the Heritage catalogs regularly when the signature auctions roll around, email NadiaM@ha.com, and you will first 5 people get one. So yep. Nadia is manning her email inbox right now. So
exactly.
Take care of you.
And also, I'm really happy to announce we got the Tom Palmer estate, okay. Legendary inker. And so this auction is going to begin to have some of examples from his collection. There are some great examples. Of course, Palmer, known for his work with Buscema, Colan, Adams, on and on and on. And of course, his own work on Star Wars. And he was a great illustrator in addition to being a tremendous inker. He's always a great artist to begin with. That's why his work is always so spot on, because he could make any artist better. So they used to give him all the tough stuff. So take a look at that in this sale, but then also he'll start to show up. The examples will start to show up in the weeklies as well.
Well, that's exciting. I mean,
yeah.
Really, I mean, Tom, like you said, he's my favorite inker on Colan, that's for sure, and he did pretty great on Buscema as well. But wow, Heritage just keeps making their offerings better and better.
Yeah, we also have the Kevin Brogan estate. More examples from Kevin. We also have the Kevin Eastman archives, some artwork from him. We also have some great Rob Liefeld Deadpool pieces. So I'm leaving out some things, not because they're any less important, but there's just too much to cover this time.
Well, so this piece here is another one from David, I assume.
Yeah. Page from Giant Size X-Men 1. Go ahead, Bill. You like talking about these.
I know. Well, I mean, pages from this book do come up fairly, a couple times a year, but this one in particular is just astounding, right? I mean, this might be probably my favorite page from the story. Just just that first panel is everything you'd want, with the whole team fighting against the island. I mean, how awesome is that? So no, this is great. And this had have been a tough piece for Dave to let go, right? At the end of the day, he's been collecting, for so long, and was early enough in there to have, but the thing is, I'm sure he has other wonderful examples, but this is a very choice example to let go, just like the Daredevil cover too. So but his loss is going to be some collector's gain, because again, just like the last piece, as an X-Men fan, having this, I would be happy to let go of several other pieces of X-Men art that I have to own this piece, because that would be the penultimate uncanny kind of page for me to own, even though it wasn't uncanny at that time. I'd want this page over at least probably over any of the other pages I have from Cockrum or Silvestri, you name it. You know, they all pale in comparison to being able to own something from Giant Size.
Yeah, and you know, David, it's not like he's not doing it out of distress. He's doing it because he added some, you know, an unbelievable Star Wars prop to his collection that, you know, he's doing exactly what you said. He's just in his collection upgrading to something else where he's consolidating several pieces of artwork into one unbelievable piece. So yeah, it's an opportunity that, you know, you don't know if they'll, if you didn't get that piece, these would not have come out. That's for sure.
Exactly. Well, this is fantastic. So I will add it to my watch list because I want to know where it ends up.
Yeah, it's going to do great.
All right. So then we have a Will Eisner Spirit cover dated.
Yeah, this is one of the legendary Spirit splashes. This is from Dennis Kitchen's collection. So this came directly from Eisner. This is the this is Pigel, the femme fatale, the dragon lady of the Spirit. You know, the who perennially tried to seduce the Spirit into a life of crime and to join. She always was trying to get him to join her at her side, and this thing has been in exhibits all over the place. A limited edition serigraph was made. It was the cover of the Spirit Casebook, Volume 2. It's an iconic image, and I didn't ever think that Dennis would have let this go. I mean, people knew he had this, and you know, it's like the number one requested item to see.
I don't. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. It's a fantastic piece.
Yeah.
Wow. What's the size on this? I'm just kind of curious because 13 by 16 and a half. Wow. That's bigger than I would have thought it would have been. I thought it might have been more of a spot illustration or something, 9 by 12.
Oh, no. These were, and there are in the Kitchen collection, there are other complete Spirit covers. There's this great wraparound cover that Eisner did for Dennis. I think it was a wedding gift, actually, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah. I mean, I'm looking at this. He has Carl Barks art. He has a little Annie Fanny art. He's got Golden Age Eisner art. He's got. I mean, it's he got Eisner to do a cover for Snarf magazine, which he published. So there's some great art in that catalog.
All right. Well, if you haven't already sent your email into Nadia, you better do it because she's probably already got her 5. But Nadia M at ha.com, ha.com, so that you can get your own catalog as well. Then we got a Frazetta Vampirella painting.
Yeah, this is an interesting story on this one. Nadia and I auctioned this off. Actually, we were around when he was commissioned to do this. When, as people probably know, when Jim Warren had the idea for a new feminine horror comic, and inspired by Barbarella and Jane Fonda, he turned to Frazetta to do the first cover. So, different people were involved, Trina Robbins, and back and forth. Frazetta did the cover of Vampirella #1, and then, but he never liked like superhero type characters. So as soon as he got the cover back, he painted the iconic costume off of her, so that the original painting is nude. And then we ended up selling that painting later. Then in 1996. Harris decides, the new owners of Vampirella, that they want to do a 25th anniversary. So they asked if Frazetta would be willing to do a new cover, and he did. So he does a 25th anniversary, and he took a little of the old, a little of the new. It's got that Gothic feel, but then it also has elements from like, Egyptian queen and the alligator, which is at a death dealer, and all sorts of stuff like that. And he does this cover. He gets the cover back, and we were going to be auctioning it in San Diego in probably 1996, I guess.
Wow.
And I go to pick it up, and he changed the hair on her. He says, "I want the hair a little fuller." I said, "What? Why are you still playing with this thing?"
Nobody's going to recognize it if you keep doing that. You know?
Yeah. So anyway, the Ray Skirtsky, old collector client of ours for years, he sees the painting, he falls in love with it, and he buys it. And then he called us several years ago, and the painting was stolen. And then, but then he got it back. And then tragically, he died suddenly. So we're now auctioning things from his estate, and this is one of the key pieces. So that's why it's back on the market. He would have never sold it in his, lifetime.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's very, very cool. And a good story about Frank. We everybody knows he reworked a lot of things. Changed a lot of covers after they were published.
Oh, a lot. Many of them for the much better, but it's just a matter of he didn't care as long as he thought it was better. Yeah. And now we talked about it last time. Romita Jr. He is super hot. So here's Romita Jr., Klaus Johnson, Daredevil 254. It's the first appearance of Typhoid Mary, 1988. Great cover. She's pictured on the cover. Daredevil, Anguish. It's a classic Romita Jr. cover.
Yeah, definitely. Is there a fold on that, or what's that? It seems like the color.
I don't know why that is. It might have been they had for some reason. Well, what's the size on this one? They might have shot this in two pieces. Looks like
15 and well, okay. Image area is 9 3/4 by 15.
Mm-hmm. That's bigger than normal.
You know what? That might be slight toning, acetate overlay. Maybe that's the edge of the overlay.
Oh, okay. Yes, there's an overlay on it. That's not too.
Yeah,
that's right. Look at the additional images.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's the overlay then. Okay, sorry about that. It just looks so odd the way usually the overlay is going to cover the whole. Cover, especially because of the heart attack. I thought that was on the overlay too, but it's not. That's on the actual board. Yeah. Okay. Mystery solved.
Mystery solved is right.
Okay, Tom Palmer.
We talked about the Tom Palmer estate. Very few of the Tom Palmer 100% Star Wars covers have ever hit the market because he had them all. So here's a Tom Palmer 100% Tom Palmer cover of Star Wars 69. Again, you've got the notation at the bottom of the lot. So if you want, you could go and you could do a search of all the Tom Palmer pieces in the sale. It's 28 items in this sale alone, and totally diverse group of items. So Palmer brought continuity to the look of Star Wars. He did cover work, inking Chaikin, Infantino, Simonson, among others. So he was the kind of the guy that maintained the look and the feel of the Star Wars publications.
Well, that's pretty cool.
I don't know if I have it. I don't know if I have it here, but we also have the painted cover of Star Wars 100 that he did. That's a big, oversized piece. It may be following, but it's very impressive.
Jeff says this was Gene Day and Tom Palmer interiors on this book. Yeah, that's cool though. And again, it's from '82, so off the market for 42 years. That's going to excite a few Star Wars collectors.
Yeah. Here we have, I listed three because there's three different Liefeld Deadpool covers. The Bad Blood #1, the variant cover for that, which is the Wolverine, and issue #3. So there's three in a row. Liefeld recently announced his retirement from the character, and the Deadpool and Wolverine film is going to be dropping on July 26th.
Yeah, that made a lot of press when he made that announcement.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's too young to retire from characters, though. He's not allowed to do that.
Yeah,
but I guess it's his career. He can do whatever he likes.
But remember, it's comic books. It's just like the characters that die. Somehow they always have a way of reappearing.
Right, exactly.
I don't know anything, but I'm just saying.
I imagine like Schwarzenegger could redo a Conan film if he really wanted to. So if he could come back, then Rob can probably come back to Deadpool one day. Yeah. But yeah, so you got three of them in here. This one's at 1,200. This one's at 555, and you get the Wolverine at 575. Yeah, I mean, everybody at the end of the day, wants something by Liefeld and Deadpool. So I think these are good.
Yeah,
they're not too bad.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity.
Yeah. All right, let's see. We got that one, and that one, and then what we got next? Oh, then we have the Robert Crumb Snarf cover.
Yeah.
This is cool. I was actually, if I had time today, I was going to try to animate this thing as part of the intro. I really wanted to see if I could make the leg, the boots spin around him and do something funny, but I ran out of time. I couldn't do it. But
that's a good idea.
I still might try it as a fun little side project. I mean, I'm this is as far as a cover image goes from Crumb. There's so many memorable ones, but this is one I've always enjoyed. This one, it's crazy and fun, and it's everything that outside of the bootylicious woman on the cover. This is like the kind of humor that you'd want on a Robert Crumb piece. I just love it. And I love
this one you could put on the wall. It's totally iconic. I mean, it's totally prime. 1976 prime period. Crumb. The line work is so Robert Crumb, and the animation, as you mentioned, this is only one of many pieces in the auction, and I could have selected several others, but yeah, this is just so well known. I had to go with this.
Oh yeah, I mean, you get even the city, the buildings and laid out like that. I mean, that's something that you want out of a Crumb piece too. I mean, yeah, this is just fantastic. I mean, I love this piece. I mean, it's if I had money, I'd try to own it myself. For me, it's like I don't even think I can afford a Crumb napkin drawing these days. But yeah, this is an amazing piece. Let's see here. What do we got next? Okay, a Sal Buscema, John Romita Sr., Frank Giacoya. So I assume Romita Sr. did some of the faces on these.
Yeah, he did the Submariner.
Okay.
This is significant because this is only the second appearance of the Defenders. This is Marvel featuring the Defenders. This is before the Defenders got their own title. So, the Hulk, Submariner, and Doctor Strange against Dormammu and his followers. They came together in the previous issue, and this is months before they would get their own title. Romita Sr., let me see. I think he did, yes, definitely the face of the Submariner.
Okay. Oh, this is cool, and this is one's covers on Marvel. They were always fun, but
it's the 1972 cover.
Yeah.
Issue #2.
Okay, so one, maybe that's a stat, but that looks original. So some of this is that looks original. Hard to say. Maybe that's not a stat. I don't know. Either way, yeah, this is awesome. This is a great piece. What year was this?
72.
72. Wow. Oh man! And then now is this a which collection? Is this?
No, this came from a totally different collector, a good friend of mine, and this is the Al Feldstein Shock Suspense #1 cover. It's the iconic EC. This is considered one of the most iconic EC covers, and this has been buried in a collection forever. This is the electric chair scene. Totally shocking, and tells the whole picture.
Yeah,
the story. I think the story had nothing to do with the electric chair, but they just wanted it, a shocking cover, and that's why it was called Shock Suspense Stories.
No, I mean it's perfect, right, for the era. I mean, Feldstein's stuff. I don't know. He was a genius, and you figure this is how do you do crazy marketing at this kind of stage of the game? So of course, you have an electrifying logo, and you have a guy getting electrocuted, and everybody aghast. I mean, that's if you were a kid at the dime store, you're going to want to pick that thing up, right, and take it home and probably not show it to your parents, but yeah, this is awesome, and it's at 21,000 already. You figure that's we're 2 weeks out from the auction, so it's. I
mean, this is a 6-figure cover in my mind. So it is going to be something good. That's the cornerstone. If you want to add a EC cover, that's distinctive and you could actually put on the wall and everything, that's the cover.
Wow. Well, that's going to be one to watch. Then Don Heck, Tales of Suspense 39.
Yeah, we got this in at the last minute. The collector that had the story decided to part with one more page. So, this is a great page. Iron Man in each panel. We see the suit in action, him demonstrating all the different aspects of the suit. I think the last page sold for well over 200,000, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, what's this one at already?
77.5.
Yeah. I think this is going to do well. Great page. I mean, I would love to put that right back there.
Well, I wonder, I forget how many pages have sold up until now, but I wonder what the cumulative number is at this point from these Tales of Suspense 39 pages. It's, at least you throw one more in there and it's going to hit it's probably at 1 million by now, because this is around the 5th or 6th page, right? I mean,
oh yeah, at least I would say, I'd say it's over 1 million.
Over 1 million by now. Yeah. Well, that's if you're a buyer, it's like if you already got 2 or 3 of the other ones, you got to at least try for this one too. So,
why not be greedy? You know what I mean?
Right,
Don't let anybody else have any.
you have a slight chance in completing the story at least. You might as well go for it. Then so we have a Sandman #1 page here. It's at $14,000 right now.
Yeah.
Sam Keith.
Yeah. 89. We have 12 Sandman pages in this auction of all different issues, and some outstanding pages. I decided as a representation to use issue 1. It's Keith and Dringenberg. So, the last panel features a drawing of the Sandman in the book. This is where he, obsesses over that book.
Yep, right there. Yeah, that's a very nice page. What was it? Page 24. So, what are the what are the other issues that you have Sandman pages from?
Oh, off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you. I remember there's one from 6. I remember there's one from 9. I don't. I didn't. I didn't get them all, but.
Anybody just go to the Heritage website and search for Sandman, and you'll get to see.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's been obviously, since the pandemic, a lot of really great Sandman pages have come to market, and I think.
Hey, we just had the Neil Gaiman auction, which
I know.
Did you watch that? Could you believe
only part of it.
Well, did you see how involved he was?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was willing to come down, sit there, and describe he's doing what I did live at the auction. And he's telling the story behind every page.
Right. I mean, he's incredibly knowledgeable. I mean, he, I know he's, and he's been an art collector for a long time. We had the Korshak collection was at OAX, and talked to Steven, and he said that Neil was actually writing the forward to an art book that is going to kind of cover a lot of the Korshak collection. So he's very knowledgeable. He's a fan, and it didn't surprise me to see him there. It was very cool. I did enjoy that part of it. So again,
he raised well over $1 million for and to. Yeah, basically going back into the industry, struggling artists, writers. You can't give him enough credit. I mean, he said, I believe him. Yeah, he had these things on his walls and tore them off the wall, and it was like tearing a piece of his heart out. But he felt that it was going for greater good.
Yeah,
I give him credit. How many of us would do that?
I would have a very difficult time, I think. But yeah, it was a fun specialty auction for you guys to have. We're so used to the Archie auctions or a Garfield auction or whatever, a few collector auctions here or there, but to have the Neil's auction was fun. Those kind of opportunities don't come across too often for us as fans, and I'm sure again, for you guys as well, to be able to offer pieces up from someone like him.
Yeah, nice. That Watchmen page went for well over 100,000. So yeah, some really big prices. So I decided to throw in a representation of Tom Palmer Buscema. I mean, look at that great cover.
Yeah, that's fantastic, and then some kind of so it's 2 layers again, do you think? Is it duo shade with another board above it, maybe?
I don't know. Is that cut out and pasted down?
You're right. It might be the duo shade that's cut out.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Interesting. I can't say that I've seen that before. All right. Well, that's cool. So that's John Buscema, Tom Palmer, Avengers.
1986, prime period for the two of them. The Beyond the Rages on the cover, a Secret Wars 2 tie-in. The Avengers present, Captain America, Black Knight, Namor, Captain Marvel, and Hercules.
Well, that's a very nice one.
Yeah.
And again, off the market. Only here because you're representing the estate. Then let's see, we have a Plastino Blue Bolt.
Now, this is an interesting one. I don't know how much you know about Al Plastino or people. He doesn't get talked about a great deal, with the younger guys. But, people don't realize he co-created Supergirl. He did the first Supergirl comic. He did the first Brainiac. He co-created Brainiac. He drew Lois Lane in Showcase 9, her first appearance, which served as the tryout for her own series. I mean, Showcase 9 was the first Lois Lane comic book dedicated to her. He worked on, of course, Batman, Superman, all World's Finest, all the characters. He worked on Adventure 247, the Legion of Superheroes, and introduced the Legion of Superheroes. He co-created with Otto Binder the first Legion characters: Cosmic Boy, Lightning Lad, Saturn Girl, the Bottle City of Kandor in Action Comics 242. He did the Parasite. I mean, I could go on. And he began in 1941. I don't even know when he retired, but it was well into, the Silver Age. So here's one of his early covers, and there are very, very few covers that exist of the Axis, Hitler, Mussolini, and Hirohito, and so this is considered one of the classic World War II covers of all time. As far as I remember, I think there's only one other cover that I know that exists with of those, and those are the most sought after of the Golden Age covers. Like the Schomburgs and all that kind of stuff. So this is only exists because he saved this one as his personal favorite. And this comes from his estate. So it's a great piece. That's what can I say? It's another piece of comic history. I'm glad I even got the opportunity. I had them do a video on Plastino because I thought that he needed the recognition. People aren't aware of him. It's good to see a number one Marvel fan knows something about Al Plastino. I don't think ever worked for Marvel. I might be wrong.
That's why I don't know a lot about him. I'm a little more narrow-minded in the Marvel world than.
And one of the things that Plastino's style was very almost like several other guys, so he could mimic other people. So a lot of people didn't identify his art immediately,
Well, that's it. So is this one of many pieces from the Plastino estate, or is this?
No, this is the only Golden Age piece. Okay. There's other things like dailies, and there'll be some other art, but nothing of this magnitude.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's at 4,100 right now.
Yeah. So if nothing else, go to the listing and watch the video. It'll be very interesting. There's also photographs and stuff. He was good friends with Infantino. Infantino introduced me to him the first time, and he goes, what do you know about? Yeah, I mean, he was a very, very outgoing kind of guy, and he kind of bark at you. He was funny, and we got along really well. I have great memories of him. So then here's another interesting thing: two Gene Colan Daredevil covers, one after the other. We have the cover of issue 28 and the cover of issue 29, both by Gene Colan and Frank Giacoia. And in 28, you've got the classic Marvel idea is Daredevil's trapped in ice, to think back to Captain America. And then in issue 29, just like the classic Spider-Man covers, Daredevil Unmasked, an iconic cover, beautifully drawn, beautifully inked. Yeah.
Yeah, the one that's up on screen right now, it's fantastic. I've always liked this cover, and Giacoia over Colan, he's my second favorite. But yeah, these two are really awesome. But yeah, this one in particular, I think it's Marvel storytelling at its best. So this is nice to have. And what is this? This is at 11.5, and the other one's at 5.
I don't think they're going to stay there.
No. Well, again, it's back to because we're so early on this one. It's that's telling to have them be right there now. So
before the catalogs hit.
Exactly. So we've got this Glenn Fabry Preacher 34 cover.
Yeah. Again, this auction has 4 different beautiful painted Preacher covers. I picked this one. I thought this is the strongest, of course, with Jesse Custer and Tulip. He's a great painter, great illustrator. We've talked about it before. These things were never on the market before, And it's a great opportunity to get them. They're coming out. They're going to be absorbed like everything else, and everybody will be lamenting, "Oh man, I should have bought one." They'll be hearing that forever.
Yeah. Jason says he likes this one, so he doesn't want anybody else to. Wishful thinking, Jason. Tim asks, he's getting rid of all the covers. It seems they don't stop coming to market. I mean, you've had them fairly regularly the last several signature auctions, anyway. At least a couple every time.
I mean, it's no secret. One collector had amassed the vast majority. That's why it was so scarce. And then he decided he was doing something else. So we got the opportunity, and they're slowly coming to market. That's what I mean. They come out, but then they end up getting absorbed, and everybody regrets not taking advantage of the opportunity.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, this one's at 2,800 so far. The auction a couple weeks away. Then I see Jason pops in here, and then look, we have an X-Men page. His favorite title.
Yeah. What do you think?
I love this one. I love the third panel. With Sasquatch holding Colossus back, just putting his hand on his head. I mean, that's too humorous not to crack a smile every single time you'd see this page and make you.
Well, you're a Cyclops guy, so
exactly. I mean, that's why he has to fight like the weakest guy on the team. He's got North Star.
But you're the only guy looking at this page, and the first thing he sees is Cyclops and not Wolverine. I mean,
exactly. Well, that first panel, though, I mean, is obviously that image of him. I mean, that's practically the image that Trippy would draw over and over again. It shows, right?
Exactly.
Exactly. I mean, whenever a convention sketch comes up, it's pretty much that pose by Trippy, and so I'd like to think that Byrne did that on purpose, because that's that same pose.
I agree. It's an homage.
Yeah, it has to be. I mean, and I think Byrne did that a lot in his work, where he would, reference, stuff just simply in some panels here or there. But anybody who was savvy would catch on to that. But yeah, no, I mean, this is the two Alpha Flight issues from Uncanny, are legendary, right? I mean, they stack up right next against the Proteus issues. I mean, this is like peak Byrne, Austin, and Claremont working together on just at their best, leading into.
Well, I mean, and the first appearance of Alpha Flight technically is issue 120, but really nothing much happens there. This is the issue where you get all of the action, the activity. So this is you got Wolverine, Cyclops, Colossus, Vindicator, Sasquatch, and a few other characters all in the page. And again, this is from the Mandel collection, another prime page, never sees the light of day. So I mean, great page. What's this one at already?
It's at 52.5. I mean, it's crazy. It's because Cyclops is actually in two panels, so he's up in this one as well.
Oh, you're getting a little bonus value.
But yeah, no, I mean, come on, this is a great page. I mean, I'm not going to hazard a guess at where it's going to wind up, but this is, if you're a Byrne Uncanny fan, this is like, this is a page from a story that everybody loves. I mean, you can love the Dark Phoenix saga and everything, but this series, the two issues and the Proteus saga, I mean, they're right up there as far as like the most memorable. I could reread that stuff all the time and I would never get bored of it. So congrats to Dave Mandel for having the nerve to let that one go.
I'm going to say something. Halprin is traveling to a convention down in Baltimore, a coin show. And so he's going to be watching this like tomorrow or the next day. And he said to me, he says, do you think that Byrne X-Men is as strong as it was? This is a 52.5 now. I mean, it is $60,000 for an interior page, already,
Oh, yeah.
So Jim, I think it's still strong.
Yeah, no, it's not weakening really at all, even when these pages come out. And I mean, I think the only thing you might see something level off if it's a page that had been out there on the market 2 or 3 years ago, but something like this that's been off the market for over 20 years, probably. Yeah, there's always going to be peak demand for it. So, yeah, pretty crazy. And then, yeah, this one's at 75 already, Corey. This is Spider-Man 252, Friends and Breeding, and yeah, but. Black costume. I think
this is the first appearance. This is the issue with the first appearance.
So it shouldn't shock anybody. This one, who knows where this one can go?
Yeah, and this is the first time that you see the costume becoming clothes with the oozing effect in panel number 4 that fans would come to know more when Eddie Brock joins the symbiote to become Venom. As it responds to Spidey's thoughts to change back to Peter Parker. That's what gave him the idea to bring it back to bring it to Reed Richards to have him analyze it. So that's pretty. Those are some pretty iconic panels right there of the evolution of that costume.
I agree. This is so yeah. This one, yeah, I haven't the foggiest idea where that'll go, but it's got a long ways to go.
As we like to say, there's a lot of upside potential.
Right, right. And you say 75K, but that doesn't even count the buyer's premium on it already, which would be another 15. So it's really at 90. So yeah. So that's a lot. For a Spidey page that has two more weeks to go, basically. Now we have another. This is a title page to Spectacular Spider-Man 64, Hannigan and Milgram versus Cloak and Dagger.
Take another look. Take another look at what it says.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is the complete story. 21.
Yeah.
Pages. Yes, so, I forgot.
Because you give me grief about stories versus breaking them up, keeping them together. Mm-hmm. This is the first Cloak and Dagger, and it's the complete 21-page book.
Wow. Yeah. That's
the title introduces the superheroes, and they make their first appearance in the story. And yeah, I mean, this is pretty unique as far as the opportunity to get the whole book. We were talking about that the Tales of Suspense 39, which was complete and broken up and all the rest. But, I mean, who knows what this would be worth broken up page by page in the future. But this is a unique opportunity.
Definitely. Now, is this from any estate or just an individual collector?
I don't, you know what? I don't remember off the top of my head.
It doesn't have a collection list there.
No, then even if it was, I couldn't say anything.
No, but obviously fantastic to still see it together at this juncture, and somebody's going to be very happy when they pick this up. What is it? 46 so far.
It's at 46 so far.
Yeah. And we've got an Amazing Spidey 18 story page by Ditko, and he had Ditko drawing all kinds of characters, villains and heroes on it.
It's a great page.
It's pretty great.
This is issue 18. So basically, he shows all of the villains, the major villains that he's fought up until then, and the heroes that he's been in contact with up till then, including the FF, Daredevil, the Avengers. I mean. And then as villains, you've got Green Goblin, Dr. Octopus, Kraven, the Vulture.
Yeah, no, this is pretty cool. You don't get Spidey, but you get J. Jonah Jameson as well. So I mean, come on, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of Ditko's, the idea that you could get all these characters on the same page, is that's a win. So this one's at what is it, 37,000 right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good page. I'd like to have that. I put that next to. If you already have pages that have Spider-Man or a splash, you put it next to it. It's fantastic.
Then Barry Windsor Smith. You get
I saw you picked one of this for your
for the graphic. Oh well, it's so striking, right?
Yeah, it is.
I always look for pages that have a lot of eye appeal at any size, and this page certainly does. I mean, the inking throughout this book was always just so stark and dramatic, and this page has that. It just has it in spades with the machinery in the first panel and Wolverine getting off the table, the close up of his face. I mean, this is an incredible example, and all the interiors from this run have always done really well. And again, this is really at 48 with the juice so far, so it's pretty much at 50 right now.
Well, I give people credit. I think that they checked the archives and looked at what's been on the market. This is one of the earliest pages of the Weapon X storyline that we've ever offered.
Mm-hmm.
Nadia and I think we had the covers from the series and the splashes. I don't remember if we had the complete books, but we got them direct from Barry back in the day. Yeah, that stuff was, gobbled up and gone. This is arguably the best page we've ever offered. Wolverine appears in 3 panels as Dr. Cornelius describes to the professor what happened when Logan killed a young man and set his sights on him. But yeah, I mean, this is a dramatic page. Just a beautifully constructed page by Barry.
I agree. Yeah, that's fantastic. So, yeah, again, somebody will be really happy to have this one. Doesn't sound like Jason's going to be getting this one, though. Sorry, Jason. We can't own everything. I'll never have a Barry Windsor Smith Weapon X, but at least we get to see him at auction and think about it. And there's plenty of these pieces on cap right now too. So there's we always get to look at it. That's at least we have that. Let's see. So then we have is it 2 pages with this one or more? No. It is 2. X-Men Annual 9 pages 5 and 6. You got Art Adams pencils, of course, and it mentions what do we got? Al Gordon and Mike Mignola inks.
Yeah. First appearance of Rachel Summers as Phoenix.
That's true. And,
daughter of Scott Summers and Jean Grey from an alternate future. She appears for the very first time wearing a new costume after vowing to remember her mom and taking the name of Phoenix. As Wolverine, Nightcrawler, Rogue, Cyclops, Shadowcat, Kitty Pryde, Colossus prepare to travel to Asgard to find Storm and the New Mutants. That's a beautiful last panel.
No, without question. This is at 27,777 already, which isn't a surprise. I mean, pages from this book, regularly go, that I've seen at least in the last few years from 15 to 25. Right, you just expect that. So to have these 2 pages, first appearance as well, it's going to be interesting. Again, 2 more weeks left in the auction. So wow. Yep. Pages I'll never own, but I get to enjoy. Then we have another Frank Miller piece. This is from issue 174.
Yeah, you got to include the Miller Daredevil pages when they come up. They've just been so hot. They're just great. Here he's very cinematic, and Miller is just obviously enjoying himself here. Beautiful action page. Daredevil joins the action as Elektra and Gladiator battle the Hand in the Hand's first appearance in this issue.
Also, it's at $36,000 already.
See, I just want to say, when people say, "How do you select what you?" I mean, first of all, I try and go by the price. I look at the price, and then I look at the bid track, and when an interior page is already over $30-something thousand, it can't be ignored.
No, not at all. Yeah, I always wanted I had many opportunities to buy Miller Daredevil pages when I first started collecting, but I went after the Burn X-Men pages, and now I have none of those. But it would have been nice to have owned a few of these. At least it felt like they were in my possession at one time. So, wow. But that just, again, it's well, this probably won't go as high as like that that Burn page we looked at earlier from Uncanny, but it's still going to be up there. It'll be probably end up being pretty close. Just tells you how important Frank Miller and John Byrne's work during this era was. I mean, there's a bit of nostalgia that drives this, but their artistic abilities are also, and their ability to tell a great story, like you just said, this is so cinematic. Brings you back and makes you want to wish you could own a page like this.
Yeah, it's. I mean,
Tim asked a question, and I think we've kind of talked about it. That your weekly auctions have had a lot of high value art. I mean, I think it's just the trickle down effect. You guys have a lot of art to sell, and it can't all make it to the platinum auctions and the signature auctions. Some of it has to fall down to the weekly auctions. And
I appreciate that analysis, and it is partially true. But as I've been promising for, it seems now, years, we keep saying that we're going to make the catalog sales smaller. Mm-hmm. Our goal is that they not because what's the big criticism we hear when it's all over and done?
Everybody hates the long weekend. They hate Sunday.
That's what they say. They hate it, but they
tough it out. But it's literally like camping out in front of your computer for 8 to 12 hours.
Exactly. So we are now committed, especially under the new format, that we're going to do the platinum. Then we're going to do the floor. We're trying to keep the floor to only 2 to 250 tops of both of those. The platinum and the floor, which means we've got to do less if we want to keep it less. So we've been pushing more things. We raised the threshold to $5,000, and anything under is not supposed to be in the catalog sale. This sale has more items because we're counting the Dennis Kitchen collection as part of the catalog, but it's got its own catalog. So there are lower priced items in there, but if you deduct it, you'll see there are fewer overall items, and that means we're pushing more items into the weeklies. And as a result, the weeklies continue to do better. Again, there's a strong argument. Do you want to be the small fish in a big pond and have a relatively inexpensive item in the catalog sale, or would you rather be a featured item in the smaller sale that everybody sees right away? We feature them in our weekly newsletters and in our advertising. So, thank you for the question.
Yeah, no, well, we've been seeing it. I mention it every week on the weekly CAF update, because I feature auctions to talk about, and then we look at the highest priced items. And when you're seeing JLA covers go on a Wednesday night, it's something we're talking about quite frequently in the last last 2 or 3 months. I think we've been seeing pieces like that of that caliber. So it just is what it is. I get it. So what do we got here? We have a Kirby Sinnet Silver Surfer graphic novel 61 page.
Yeah, I mean, I had to include at least one Kirby piece, but this is this was the last time that Kirby worked on the Silver Surfer, and this may be, many consider this to be the first true graphic novel. Kirby and Stan Lee. This is Kirby's return to Marvel, and he does this book, and full figure interior splash page of the Surfer, inked by Sinop. Beautiful.
Yeah, it's fantastic. 14,000 now, and a lot of room there for that.
Yeah, but 1978.
Yeah, I love this one. I thought about using this one for some of the marketing too, but did not. What else we got here? Oh, the Doc Savage Bama cover.
Yeah.
If you're into this kind of artwork, illustration side, book cover work, you got to have a Bama cover, and Doc Savage is it. I mean, no one played around with tone, quite like he did. Doc Savage covers were always, they're all so memorable, and this one's just so unique because of the purple hue. I mean, usually everything had that gold hue all the time. But to throw this in here as a contrasting color with this piece just makes it so unique, and I think it's gorgeous. So I love the lighting effect. Everything that's purple is in shadow on his face. I mean, it's a wonderful.
It's a masterful piece of art. The interesting part about this is that, of course, these stories were first printed in 1930, like this one was 1935. And then, Bantam Books decided that they were going to start rerunning and the distinctive covers. This was the period of time where Frazetta was doing the Edgar Rice Burroughs with Ace. Bantam Books is doing this. I mean, it was just a golden age of paperback covers, in my opinion. People don't realize that if you look up James Bama, I mean, he died in 2022, and but he in 1971 he had done 62 covers for Doc Savage for Bantam Books, and in 1971 it's a fascinating story where he went to visit a friend owned a ranch out west, and he went to visit, stayed there for a while, started doing some paintings of Western scenes. I mean, it's a real working ranch, and people just loved those paintings. And then his friend suddenly passed away, and he moved out there for good and transitioned 100% to a Western. Is considered one of the fine Western American painters.
Mm-hmm.
So he had two very distinct careers, and we know him for Doc Savage, but a large part of America knows him as a fine illustrator and painter. So he was just great. I mean, look at this. This is early work for him, considering, and it's just spot on. And as you say, he had this fantastic. I don't know if it was his editor that allowed him or if it was his idea. That I don't know, but these almost duotone covers were just. I've never seen this one. The purple is so.
I haven't either.
It's amazing.
Well,
let's call it violet and be a little bit more sophisticated about
there
it.
There you go. That's what he would want us to do. All right, violet it is. So this one's at 11.5. So it's somewhere around 14 with the juice on it. Not too bad. Then we have a Captain America cover with Spider-Man. This is I love the layout on this. I mean, this is again, something you see a lot in Marvel period, this kind of era of comic book covers. Doc
love those kind of covers.
Over City with the FF in front of. I mean, it's just something you see a style quite regularly through it. So this is Sal Buscema, Cap 137 from 71. What's not to love about this thing?
Yeah. I think that the Falcon first appeared on the cover, meaning, as Captain America and the Falcon in issue 134. So, this is a very early iteration. And, having Spider-Man in such a prominent, prominent part of the cover is, you don't normally get in Captain America. So, this is going to do well. This is going to be a Spider-Man crossover. When I often, one day when we want to have a real controversy and real high discussion, we'll talk about the factors that affect the value of comic art. That I put that together years ago, because as an appraiser, it was very difficult to be able to get in front of a panel of, the IRS or in court or whatever, and be able to justify what makes something worth what it is. And, people would say, well, a Ditko Spider-Man page is worth X number of dollars. Well, is it really? Or is first appearance of a character significant? Or is Spider-Man on the cover significant? Or is the character in action significant? So it's context, it's content, it's aesthetics, and then one of the things that also always affects the value is crossover appeal. So Spider-Man on any page makes the page worth more money.
I agree. I'm looking for this. Dino has his rule about covers, and he calls it the Falcon rule, and all the letters stand for something. I thought I moved it around. It was a paddle. We would hold it because he made them for actually when we were doing the Heritage recap. So he would always say that it's a Falcon, and that's why everybody why it's an important one and why that's a piece he would like. And I can't, and for the life of me, I can never remember what they stand for. But if I see it in my office, I'm going to grab it, because again, it's the same kind of thing. It would be cool to have you and he chat about that, because I think that those are the things that a lot of people just kind of feel, but don't, they can't articulate, why a cover feels more important than another one. But and for things like appraisals and that sort of thing.
You have to be able to defend. I mean, that's part of the thing. I mean, obviously the pencil, the artist, matters. Obviously the format matters. Obviously the inker matters. So these are all factors that affect the value of comic art.
Yeah, I'm not going to find it. Sorry.
No, I had a good discussion with Dino at the recent
the Comic Art Con, right? Yeah, a couple weekends ago.
Convention. He was there. We had a nice little chat.
Well, maybe we'll arrange an in-depth chat when you get back from Europe. That would be a fun show.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. So this is a very very nice cover, and it has Falcon in the title. Oddly enough, bringing up the Dino's rule of thumb. So what do we got here? Frank Miller Batman variant cover from 5 years ago. Yeah. So this one is at $10,500.
Yeah. Batman drawn in the manner of the Dark Knight. So it's Frank Miller. It's the Dark Knight. It's Batman. It's not 1986, but it's still. I promised Nadia I wouldn't say it anymore, but she said I say it too much, but it is what it is.
No, well, this is one Frank definitely put time into.
She's howling with laughter, right? So I knew she would be.
Well, she's not going to make you sleep on the couch because of it, but but these are nice to see, because so I think a lot of the pieces that Frank has done in the last few years maybe hasn't had the same the same intensity, or maybe he's not been excited about it. But this piece, clearly he was really into this piece, and whether intentional or not, I think this one turned out fantastic. So I wonder if it's on an oversized board too. It's probably it's image area 20 by 23. So because these pieces were, I think that might have helped him, because they were bigger. He probably just got into it a bit more. And any piece that I've seen by him that was oversized in the last 8 to 10 years, I felt were always much better than the smaller pieces that he worked on. So
he transitioned from film noir to abstract expressionism, where it's more about the manner in which he applies the ink and the stroke than I don't want to get to make it something that it's not, but you can tell it's all about the way he approach this. He's slashing. He's hitting it with the blacks. He's using fine line. He's using heavy line. He's yeah. I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So I think this one's at 10.5. And again, we're 2 weeks out, everybody, from the auction. So next up, we were just talking about Jack Kirby with that Silver Surfer piece. Now we got a page from X-Men 5.
Yeah, I mean, early appearance of I mean, it's X-Men 5, and Prime Magneto image there. I had to include it. And this is the first appearance of Asteroid M, the orbital space station created by Magneto as a new sanctuary for evil mutants. You got the members of the Masters of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, Mastermind Toads, Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch, who are later revealed to be Magneto's children. First appearance was in the previous issue.
Yeah, I mean, Kirby's not in my top 5 for X-Men artists. Everybody knows that. And they give me hell for it. But Kirby did draw a great Magneto. I will give him that. And
as my wife will tell me, there's nothing wrong with being wrong, Bill.
Exactly. I don't mind being wrong.
You can't always be right. There's nothing wrong with being wrong.
Right, exactly. But like Jason said, real Kirby too, not just layouts. This is all. He's got a heavy hand in this issue, and probably through like issue 8 to 10, somewhere around in there. But yeah, no, this is fan. I would love to own this Kirby X-Men page, and the odd thing will be is, I mean, I have no idea where this will end up, but it won't end up as high as it should. Whatever it goes for, the early Kirby X-Men pages don't end up nearly where I think everybody would expect them to. They just consistently don't, and I don't understand why. I really don't, because anything that's that early in a run, especially for a book as important as X-Men, you would think would be different. But I'm sure this page is going to do really well. Again, it's got, if you love the villains from the X-Men, I mean, this is wonderful. This is your.
And how about the movies? These are the characters that went on to become the movie characters. So, I mean,
very true. So again,
Witch getting her own series, come on.
Yeah. Well, we'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to be critical of Kirby. It's just he was like number 6 in my list. Everybody, just not top 5. He was close. So then we have Buckler Sinnott. What do we got? FF cover 155.
Yeah.
This one is at 15.5. This thing is awesome.
It's the Silver Surfer blasting the thing. All action. Iconic kind of image. Buckler and Joe Sinnott, which gives the polish of, the classic FF covers. 1975.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have the logo to obscure the cover. It's just great.
All I need is a Yancey Street signpost, and and I'd be sold. I'd be in on this one right now. But yeah, no, of course this is a super powerful image, and I always think Buckler's pencils were great. I thought he was he had a great eye for page composition, and then you add Sinnott inks on this thing on top of it, and it's a phenomenal piece. So yeah, and number 1 Marvel fan, he agrees that this is a great piece of art. Yeah.
What's the size on this?
Let's see. Yeah, the papers does look a little odd, doesn't it? 10 by 15. Yeah, so that is.
So it's a full. If it's a full image, so this is, you're getting more art for your money here, because usually they leave the top almost 25%, 20% for the logo. So
right.
Yeah. Wow.
All right.
That's a nice piece. Yeah.
Okay, now we got a Perez.
Yeah, again, when you have a George Perez Secret Origins, Teen Titans cover, I kind of had to include it. He's been so hot. I like talking about Perez. He's such a nice guy. It's classic. All the characters, every teen who ever tightened. I like that. The catalog is that. A lot of them are shown as, the different transitions. You look at Dick Grayson, Speedy, Garfield, Logan, Aqualad. You see them in all of their different iterations. It's a great concept.
Yeah, agreed. Well, I mean, nobody drew groups of characters quite like George. So, it's beautiful. I was one of the few DC books that I read regularly was Perez on Titans.
Yep.
That Giffen on Omega Men, I really enjoyed, and on Legion. So it was always the art, right? When you had the right artists, I think even a Marvel fan like me was forced to buy DC.
Well, we have Omega Men, the cover of Omega Men.
I know. I saw that. I was intrigued.
Yeah.
So
this comes from the Brogan collection as well. I mean, Kevin, I'm shocked at the amount of stuff he had. Really.
I am too. Great. He's such a mild-mannered guy.
Yeah.
He was great everywhere. And I wasn't even aware, of what he had in his collection. So then we got a JLA cover from 1979, Dick Dillon, Dick Giordano. Yeah. This is
all the super villains facing off against all the superheroes.
Very nice. And what are we at on that? Five and a quarter right now.
Zatanna in her fancy sorceress costume. And this set up the Identity Crisis storyline by Brad Meltzer later. But again, look at the number of characters in this. What a great cover to put on the wall.
Mm-hmm. That's very nice. Marcus says it looks more like a school dance. Well, maybe where you went to school, Marcus. Everybody was in chains. I don't know. But anyway, moving right along after that one. So very nice DC cover there. Then we've got Brian Bolland, Bruce Patterson, Camelot 3000 splash. I mean,
of issue 1.
Of issue 1, right? Same price, 5 and a quarter on this one. But Brian's stuff is always going to be highly sought after. There definitely aren't enough Camelot 3000 pages out there, and there's a lot of to satisfy the number of fans from that book. So to get something this early, the page 1, issue 1 splash is pretty special.
And you got Merlin, you have Arthur, Guinevere, Lancelot. You got everybody you want on there.
Yeah, no, this is great. Well, that's going to make somebody very happy. And then what do we got here? Jim Lee. Corner box.
This is a Mandel piece. This is the corner box illustration for Jim Lee's X-Men. So this is the blue team lineup: Cyclops, Wolverine, Beast, Gambit, Psylocke, Rogue. This was used on the cover of almost 24 issues of Jim Lee's X-Men title. Started in 1991. Starting with issue number 2 through its last appearance.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nice, large size art. I mean, for the corner box art.
Very, very cool. The things that Mandel has or had in his collection. That's nice. So what do we have? We're at 16.5 on this one. And I did put Jim Lee was in my top 5. I think he was number 5. I saw somebody ask what my top 5 were. I can't remember. Honestly, I think it was Cockrum, Byrne, Paul Smith. Who did I give my other stuff to? Jim Lee, and I can't remember the 5th for some reason. Oh, I think I said Neil Adams. So there you go. And then Kirby would have been 6th.
Paul Smith over Jack Kirby. Okay.
Well, it's a little bit my period, though, right? I mean, they both had about the same number of books, right?
I wasn't talking to you. I was just thinking out loud.
Yes. Well, they both had the same run. I just think that when you, I don't know. I mean,
when you consider that Paul Smith came up with the idea and did the first issue, and of course came up with all the characters, and of course Stan Lee was just doing the dialogue at that point. So Jack was actually came up with all the stuff. It's like Dave Cockrum.
All right. Well, wait a minute. Now, when we did the show, it was the 5 best artists on all of X-Men, and I think there was a minimum they had to do at least. I can't remember what the rules were. They had to do 5 or 6 contiguous issues. So it wasn't like who were the most impactful or important. Now, if you said that, you could put Kirby in that list. But for me, it came, as the artists themselves, Joe. We should have had you on that panel. See what your top 5 would have been. That would have been fun. But yeah, we should do those again. That was a spirited conversation, and that was interesting to get people's takes on that, because there were some people. Kirby wasn't in. I think Kirby was only in 1 of 4 people's top 5. 2 of the people were very 90s focused. John Romita Jr., Silvestri, that sort of era, because that was probably what they were more grew up with. I actually wasn't even going to include Jim Lee in there, because I didn't read the X-Men books in the 90s. I didn't buy those off the shelves, but I ended up adding them.
Like Adam did what, 3 books?
Neil, he did his I think 6, right?
You got Steranko, if you're going to do that.
Well, Steranko only had like 3.
Exactly.
The rule was contiguous, so I think it was and Adams was 57 to 64, so he at least had 7 or 8 books in a row or something like that. I can't remember the exact numbers at the moment, but he fell within the guidelines. So whereas Steranko did not. But Steranko's stuff is cool. Mr. Halperin owns a very nice he owns the Steranko X-Men cover, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he does. He owns one of them. Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, moving right along. Wow, we got about 100 people watching the show already. That's not too bad for an early show. Oops, I closed the wrong one, man. I just closed that Spectre cover. I'll get it back. Let's talk about the Tarzan Byrne Hogarth daily.
Yeah, we have several good pieces in this sale. This is a great Hogarth Sunday. Tarzan in every panel. You could do a close up and you could see the amount of action in this. Tarzan first defeats a wild boar, kills the wild boar, makes the wild boar, turns it into a pair of moccasins. Then he uses the wild boar and then catches a crocodile, and then he defeats the crocodile. Great, wonderful action page by Hogarth, one of the masters of the medium.
Well, clearly Tarzan was very resourceful, but no, it's beautiful. This whole scene here with the in the panel with the gator or the croc. I mean, look at that. It's beautiful. I mean, I think that's probably my favorite panel in there, and it's just a still life at the end of the day. I mean, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. I know people give Hogarth a lot of grief. I mean, in the art world, but I always like this stuff, and it goes back to his dynamic figure drawing books and everything. But he was fantastic at this era. His inking is exquisite. It may not be as he's no Alex Raymond or whatever, but I mean, for what he's doing, and it was so. I mean, his line work is just perfect for Tarzan. It's beautiful.
We've talked about it. I knew Byrne, and we used to have quite a few arguments, because he used to love to argue, but he had very strong opinions. And to him, Tarzan was like an Olympic god. He was, instead of 7 heads tall, he was 8 heads tall, whatever it was.
Sure.
He felt that people who have great abilities are blessed with that kind of a physique, and he was always trying to display that, and he loved creating shapes and letters to in every panel. So like this is obviously everything pointed out towards that way, and then you go to the next panel and it points you in another direction. And he loved taking out a page and showing me, like that's left, this is down because the next panel is going to be down,
Mm-hmm.
and then then pointed down. You see that?
Oh yeah.
The alley. Then you got and this one pointing back in the other direction, and then Tarzan coming right back at you, and then you see a 3/4 scene at the end. So that none of that is by accident. That's this is 40 years after he drew them, and he remembered everything he did in numerous different pages like that. So he would go through it all with you, and he'd say that's what it's all about. It's about telling the story and doing it with good art. But more than anything, it has to be interesting, and you have to be able to direct the eye of the reader.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would love to own a piece of art by Hogarth without question. So, and I'd be happy to own that. What was it at? I didn't even look. $3,100 right now.
Oh, that's cheap.
Yeah,
that's a $20,000 page.
Oh yeah, no, I can't imagine that it wouldn't end at 20.
No.
So then we have this is the page I accidentally closed. A Kuda Spectre #1 cover from '87.
Yeah, I love Mike Kuda. He's he not only a great artist, he's a great guy. He's just a wonderful person, and an outstanding artist. And his run on the Spectre was special. I think it was the last auction that we talked about. Last non-international was we had a shadow cover, which did extremely well. But again, Kuda on the Spectre is just wonderful. He only did 3 issues under the guidance of Madame Xanadu, the office girl, sent to retrieve a large urn in the locker of. Oh, that's right. This is where he, the Spectre, inside the body of Jim Corrigan, becomes the host of the Spectre. People may not realize that it was originally created by Jerry Siegel and drawn by Bailey in More Fun 52.
Well, this is nice. I do like Kuda's work a lot. Yeah. Wow. Well, this is at $4,800 right now.
That's actually at this point strong for Kuda. For some reason, his pieces don't do unbelievably. I mean that Shadow did. So maybe that's a new phase. A lot as we talked about, a lot of artists are taking that next step up. George Perez, Romita Jr., just Mignola, just a few that come to mind. But hopefully the same will happen for Mike.
Agreed. Well, he deserves it. He's got he certainly has the pedigree.
Oh yeah.
Then speaking of Alex Raymond, we have Flash Gordon, Jungle Jim Sunday.
Yeah,
got a few of these of late, right? With the Jungle Jim and then the Flash Gordon and the.
This is from the family, new to the market, from a sequence that people absolutely love. I touched on it, during the international sale, but I think it's worth mentioning again. People ask, everybody has their own favorite period of time for Flash Gordon. In the beginning, Flash Gordon started in 1934, and it was, pretty cartoony as he was coming out of comic strips and wanted to introduce the characters. And then once he started going to different lands and different places within the world. He changed his artwork seemingly every year that to reflect what the scenes were going to be. And the sizes of the originals changed. So the 1940s are smaller, 1939 is big, 1937 is smaller, 1935, 36 are large. In 1936, they went to full pages where they got rid of the Jungle Jim. They were so popular, they gave each one their own feature. Mm-hmm. So the whole page was Flash Gordon, and the whole page was Jungle Jim. So people ask, why do the prices vary? Because different people have different favorite periods, and the size of the art matters. So here is 1939. This is that period of time that greatly influenced George Lucas. And that's where you had the Princess Leia costume, and you had the cave giants, all of that type of stuff. So it's this is from the Ice Kingdom sequence. The Ice Kingdom of Phrygia is one of the most popular. The size of the art increased. You had Queen Freya and the Glacier Monster, and all of that stuff's in this page. So you had a beautiful page.
Agreed. This is one. Mr. Hogarth would probably say he did it all wrong. Characters are pointing off panel rather than pointing down. He's looking off panel. He's got his gun pointing off that way. Everything's wrong, and compared to a Hogarth piece, but it's still beautiful. I mean, that's the thing. That's amazing. And then let's see here. I've got a this is a complete 5-page story from Thor 127, Kirby and Frazetta.
The meaning of Ragnarok. So with the television series and the movies featuring Ragnarok, this is where it all began. So here you hear all about the day of Ragnarok and the foretelling of the chaos that sweeps through Asgard. Odin leads his forces against Loki and his evil hordes, and Thor and Loki battle for the last time, ending with a Midgard serpent rising up to destroy the realm. I mean, look at that.
Yeah, it's amazing. I like that panel right there. That's my favorite. Yeah, that's very nice. And so 5 pages, 77.50 right now. Yeah, that's going to go a bit higher than that.
Yeah.
It's nice to see it sold together too, versus breaking them up, because individually, it might raise a tiny bit more money than selling them complete, but I'd rather keep them together, right?
Yep. I don't think I sent it to you, but I was talking about complete books. We've got Batman, Bride of the Demon, which is the 92-page graphic novel by Tom Grinberg. We have the complete book, 92 pages, available never been on the market before. Rare opportunity to own all the art from a complete graphic novel. Features Batman, Ra's al Ghul. It's the story is part of the epic trilogy with the Son of the Demon and the Birth of the Demon with the Ra's al Ghul thing. And this is when Grimberg, who was a student of Neil Adams, at the studio, basically, was working in Neil Adams' style. So I wanted to make sure I mentioned that, because, again, it just, the price wasn't very high at the beginning, but, I couldn't fit everything in.
That's a challenge when you have several hundred pieces in the auction that are all, noteworthy. So people have to spend their own time over there at Heritage. I did put the link in the show description, so you can get over there after this broadcast, or any time that you're watching this show. You got 2 weeks to bid. Yeah. So we talked about this cover briefly, momentarily, about the Omega Men #1 cover, Giffen, Carlo, and super memorable. I'm sure even #1 Marvel fan would probably say this is quite the memorable cover. Yeah, it made me
when this came out, I owned the comic store when this came out, Nadia and I. So when the anticipation for this, when it came out, was unbelievable, and they sold a ton of copies. That was with the nice quality paper. Giffen was super hot from the Legion. Wow, yeah.
And it's a 15.5 already. So yeah, this is going to do rather well, I think. I'd even like to own this piece. Let's see. We got Sikowski.
And you know who owned that?
Who? What? The Giffen?
Yeah.
I don't.
Kevin Brogan.
Brogan owned this?
Yeah.
My goodness, that man.
Amazing.
If I would have only known, that would have been, Brogan.
A good interview with him. That would have been a good interview with.
I was just going to say, you see a collection like this, and I wish I would have spoken with him. I mean, I've known him for since like 2005 or maybe 2004. Just he was always around. When I was doing stuff at San Diego and many other shows, and never occurred to me. But yeah, he would have been a wonderful interview. The idea that he could to talk about. I mean, because this would be a piece he would have shown, and hearing the story on how he got it, why he really wanted it, and all of that would have been fantastic. And now we don't have that opportunity. But
yeah.
But anyways, yeah, no, this is this very special piece. Yeah. Then now we got about 6 more pieces to look at. So
we're gonna make it.
We're gonna make it. I got another show at 9.
I know. I'm trying.
No, you're doing great. We got this
trying to keep you going. It's not easy.
Hey, as long as I have, I can grab a Z.
Right, Nadia? How am I doing, Nudge? You told me no stories. Just keep it going. Keep it going. Okay.
We like if Albert Moy were in the chat, he'd be screaming next. All right, so we got. It never reminds me. I owe Moy a call. He asked me to call like a week ago, and I haven't done it. Oh shoot, he's gonna be really mad when I finally call him. So Sikowski, JLA 21 page. And,
I put these consecutive because this is the interior page of the first time, the first meeting of the Justice Society and the Justice League, which of course created all of these, alternate dimensions and Earth 2 and all the rest. And here they are meeting for the first time. Sikowski does. You talk about George Perez. Sikowski was the guy who preceded George Perez as the master of the number of people on a page. And they all appear within a dimensional cloud. And, you got Batman, the Atom, Martian Manhunter, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Aquaman, Green Arrow, Superman. Then you got Black Canary, Dr. Fate, the original Hawkman, the original Green Lantern, the original Atom and Hourman. All on the same page.
Yeah, that's an awesome piece.
And then you could skip to the next lot, and we have the cover of issue 22, the next book, where they're all together and fighting. So this is the second part of that first ever GLA JSA team up. And that's Murphy Anderson.
Yeah, it's beautiful. What year?
1963.
Very sketchy on the DC stuff. 63. Wow.
Yeah.
61 years ago.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. But that's beautiful.
Yeah. And imagine this is coming out when Spider-Man 1 is coming out, and Avengers 1 is coming out, and X-Men 1 is coming out, and Daredevil 1 is coming out.
Yeah. No, very, very, very nice piece here. And 21 on that one. So that's got a long way to go. Oh, I must have clicked on this one twice. So we saw this.
No, I made a mistake. I included the link there, and it's not right.
Oh.
So skip to the next one.
Okay.
That's Oh, there's the McFarlane, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. The from issue 314, page 8. Currently, it's $6,700.
We have, I think, 3 different McFarlane lots or more in the sale. I just picked this one as a representative, and again, these McFarlane pages do just great, and they're really, people want. We have Jim Lee pages from Hush. There's so much stuff in the sale to choose from that. Again, I just encourage everybody's going to find something in this sale. I would be shocked if you didn't find something you liked in this sale.
Yeah, I agree. This is it's a nice page. And the grandma's giving him macaroons. Very nice. Favorite treat in our house too. So this one's at $67.50. Then Mazzucchelli Daredevil 214 page. This one's only at $2,800, which is kind of crazy. It's not going to stay there. There's no way. Look at you look at that 4th panel with the action there with him jumping through the flames like that. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, and I think one of the panels is the cover scene showing Daredevil crouching on the rooftop.
Right here, yeah.
In the pouring rain. Yeah, that's it. That's the cover. He only did a dozen issues where he both penciled and inked. And this again is from the Kingpin, sequence. So, Mazzucchelli, he's another one that's very academic, but outstanding.
Yeah, no, I think this is a fantastic page. I mean, those last 2 panels. I mean, the way he's drawing the rain there. That's kind of unique in the way he's handling it. It's phenomenal. I love this. So yeah, $2,800 will not hold at all. So here we are. We're on the last piece, I think, of our set here, and this is a Grindberg. This is the.
Oh, it is. I didn't realize I did add it. So good. There it is. That's the 92-page graphic novel.
Yep. So it made it in here, and it's only at $2,800 as well.
Yeah.
That's pretty cheap right now.
Yeah, considering that's why I said I was
$30 a page
from the the prices, the highest price, and everything else. So that's why it went down there. But this is a great opportunity to get something special. 92 pages of art in one lot. Think about that one.
Well, here, Alberto, who is, of course, the world's largest Captain America fan, who clearly wanted us to talk about this Zach Captain America cover. He's mad that we didn't show it.
There you go.
He wants.
I told you people would be angry.
Competing with him for this piece. You get Cap with the Defenders on here, drawn by Zach and John Beatty. Look at this thing. It's fantastic.
Well, thank you for pointing it out. I appreciate it.
Alberto.
Yeah.
You just ask and you shall receive. But no, I mean this is beautiful. But Alberto, you already have a Zach cover. He has the cover with where he's fighting Doc Ock. Which is a really nice.
Well, let me, if anybody is a fan of, we have a Wallywood Daredevil 9 page. Okay. Yep. We have Mark Schultz, the cover of Zenzoic art, number 1 and number 2, those iconic covers that came out that are reproduced everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
We've got, if you're an ElfQuest fan of Wendy Pini,
the first issue, right?
We got the cover of issue 1, which I think we originally sold to Christie's and has come back up for auction. You've got, I'm just looking at notes that I made of things that I was considering. Tons of Harvey Kurtzman art in the sale. So,
yes, there's a lot to love in here. And again, we have 2 weeks to kind of go through everything and familiarize ourselves with what's still in there. This is an early preview, but as we saw, there's a lot of pieces that have already been, bid to significant levels that they normally wouldn't be at this point, because a lot of people do like to bid late, as most people who are bidding on auctions like to do. So yeah, I mean, just imagine where that Burn Uncanny piece is, or maybe even where that Kirby X-Men page from issue 5 will end up. It might change my mind on Kirby as an artist, but Joe, these are always fun. So I hope you have a safe and fun trip.
Thank you.
To Europe. I mean, if you're doing anything art related, you should definitely, shoot some photos. Send me the art related photos of your.
That's not a bad idea. Yep.
Yeah, please do. I'll
when we're there, we normally go to gallery shows, and I'll send a picture. I have no idea how this convention's going to go, but based on the people that are doing it, I expect a good show.
Yeah,
they haven't had they canceled the other Paris convention, so this is a good opportunity. I'll be there with Olivier.
Oh, wonderful. Well then,
and by the way, the international sale did great.
It did. It really did. I forget the final numbers on it, but no, the piece
it was about 2.4 million, and last year. You have to remember you had all the anime and manga kind of art in there, which did maybe 700,000. So this actually surpassed last year in pure dollars of comic art. All right, I'll let you go so you get a few minutes rest between shows.
Yeah, I should probably do like a wardrobe change so it doesn't look like I'm like So anyway, but no, Joe, that's cool. But yeah, you should take photographs from the trip, and also let's think about maybe doing a show. After you're back, and we can talk with Dino and try to figure out what the format of the discussion would be. And it would be fun to talk about how properly to view and value artwork. What are the key factors that guys like you look at when trying to assess value for pieces, whether it's for trying to get estimates for auctions, insurance reasons, all those things. It would be fun to kind of go through that and educate a lot of our viewers on your opinions on that matter, because you've done it in many times, I'm sure, for many different reasons, and we'd love to hear your thoughts.
35 years of doing that.
I wouldn't want to do it. Too much responsibility. but yeah, so let's think about that. I'll talk with Dino in the next few weeks while you're still on the road, and we'll try to come up with something. And
all right. All right, Bill. Thanks to everyone. Appreciate it as always. And if anybody has any questions, feel free to contact me, joem@ha.com.
You got it. All right. See you guys again in a few minutes. Thank